We're surrounded by so much social media these days. There truly is a platform for everyone. For me, however, it's always been YouTube. YouTube is a vast, one-of-a-kind platform, almost a sort of universe unto itself. Every single minute of the day, over 500 hours of footage is uploaded to the video sharing site. Just think about that. I mean, really think about it. Unfortunately, due to the sheer volume, the vast majority of videos that are uploaded to the platform go completely unseen by almost everyone. And for as much golden, great content that is uploaded, there's an equal amount of, well, something else. Something else entirely. And by the way, just for the record, I don't fall under the golden category myself. More like bronze, maybe. Anyway, as you can imagine, with that much raw footage uploaded every day, there's obviously going to be a whole litany of deep, dark, and disturbing rabbit holes for us to explore. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. So join me as we become owlish and go poke our heads where they don't belong.
I was just kind of wondering if you wanted to play dolls.
On the face of it, the Jordan Long Show might come across as completely harmless. Just yet another strange, quirky YouTube channel in a veritable sea of them. Since all the way back in the year 2013, practically a lifetime ago by internet standards, this channel has been posting lo-fi videos of a man playing with dolls. Every single day without fail, this man would narrate conversations and act out various scenarios using his little friends. Upon first glance, this might come across as a bit odd, yes, but ultimately completely harmless, right? Well, the deeper you dive into the content on the channel, the more outright disturbing the situation becomes. These videos cover a whole array of different topics, often quite strange, but sometimes fully mundane as well. However, despite their topic, all of the videos boil down to essentially the exact same formula. A grown man using his doll collection to act out bizarre and often completely disconnected stories. And remember now, this man has been uploading daily for well over a decade. Just think about the sheer commitment that takes. And this alone already raises some serious red flags. I mean, what kind of a person would dedicate all of that time and effort to something so downright strange? But possibly, the far more important question is simply, why? Why even do this to begin with? And more importantly, why do it for so long? So, I think we've established that this behavior is indeed strange, but so far it seems fairly harmless, right? Well, as you continue to delve deeper into the channel, you begin to notice something. The titles of the various videos begin to take on an almost disquieting tone. Titles such as, quote, "I love having sex," leave you completely confused and wondering just what in the hell is really going on here. The videos themselves are straightforward enough, just a man utilizing his doll collection to act out and discuss the video's topic in prolonged rambling conversations. However, between the borderline disturbing consistency and out there subject matter, these videos leave the viewer feeling very odd indeed. An unsettling feeling that only grows stronger with the more videos you watch. And there's one other thing about the Jordan Long Show that I haven't as yet mentioned. Something that takes this situation from being just a bit strange to outright disturbing. Sometimes, throughout the course of these videos, as the man is just playing with his dolls, he's also, well, touching himself. And it's just as gross and disturbing as it Obviously, I cannot show you any of these clips, but just know the full and true context of these videos takes this channel from just another odd one to something much more sinister. No longer is it just some odd guy playing with dolls in his house. It's become something much, much worse. It's completely unknown who exactly this content is even meant to appeal to. After all, there's no target audience referenced, and no obvious purpose for these videos to even exist in the first place. What frightens me the most, though, is that because of his use of dolls, his videos might appeal mostly to the very most vulnerable among us, children. This is the kind of content that you would think YouTube would remove immediately. And yet, as of the making of this video, the channel remains up, with over a decade of steady uploads in its library, just waiting to be stumbled upon. This channel is yet another strange and frightening corner of the internet, one that leaves you with far more questions than answers, and with more concern than peace of mind.
Is interested in more than just a good Listen, he's having no trouble.
Could you say it again?
He feller in the white.
We're on your screen.
Said earlier, Steve, undefeated.
It's simple for
This is simple.
program on therapeutic.
This awful man.
The YouTube comment section can often be a fun, entertaining, and even hilarious place. The comment section could be a place where an entire community can form and come together to discuss just how much they all love a particular channel or video. It can be a place where memes are formed, hilarious memes that go on to spread all across the internet. However, just like with all aspects of the platform, it can also be a place where mysteries are born. Portishead is a trip-hop band from the United Kingdom that was first formed way back in the 1990s. Over the years, a handful of their music videos have gone fairly viral on YouTube, with one from 2016 receiving almost 40 million views. However, there is one particular music video of theirs that has gone on to become the subject of much speculation on both YouTube and Reddit. And not for the reasons that you might imagine either. The music video that I'm referencing is the one for a track titled Only You. Upon first glance, the video seems fairly consistent with the band's other uploads. So far, so normal. However, if you scroll far enough down in the comment section, you'll come across something a bit strange. Thousands upon thousands of comments have been left by someone with the username of Doowut. Over the course of several months, beginning in December of the year 2018, this user left all of these strange comments on the Only You music video. Occasionally, Doowut would even comment hundreds of times in a single day. And what's especially strange is that most of these comments appear to be nothing more than angry rants, seemingly directed at a single person, or sometimes even a group of people. On occasion, it even appears that he's partaking in a long, convoluted conversation with only himself. Now, a large chunk of these comments are far too explicit for me to display here, while others are just blatant non sequiturs. Most, however, are just downright strange. Let's take a look at a couple of them. One reads, "The spirit entered me all right. Yowza." Another says, "Yeah, heavy petting." Most of these comments, though, unlike the ones I just read, are very angry in tone, The poster's anger seems to be directed primarily at the band themselves. And the more you delve into this rabbit hole, the more you realize that Doowut seems to be under the impression that the band has stolen from him. In this case, that they've stolen his ideas for music videos and even songs. Doowut alleges that he's received no credit at all for all these brilliant ideas of his. In his own strange way, he appears to be alleging that the entirety of Portishead's success is due solely to him. It's been suggested by some that this is the primary reason the user chose this particular video to leave his absolute tirade of angry comments. As you can imagine, over the years, many other users have tried engaging with Doowut, leading to some truly bizarre conversations. Within these convos, Doowut claims that he's actually some kind of interdimensional being, with the ability to communicate with people on other timelines. Although the vast majority of Doowut's comments are indecipherable nonsense, within a few they claim to be a female living in a local homeless shelter. Now, is this true? Well, just like everything else about the mysterious Doowut, it's really hard to say. Due to the sheer volume of comments that they were leaving back in the years 2018 and 2019, some have claimed that the Doowut account must be a bot. However, others have rightly pointed out that since Doowut has edited quite a few of their comments over the years, they simply cannot be a bot. As truly insane as it seems, the vast majority of the evidence available seems to point to the fact that every single one of Doowut's comments were left by a real living person. A person with far too much time on their hands, yes, but a person nonetheless. Other theories include the user possibly suffering from some type of extreme mental illness, or conversely that they're simply a troll, out looking for attention. And yet others have suggested that the whole Doowut saga was nothing more than an ARG, designed by the band themselves to drum up attention for their music video. However, the first Doowut comment appeared over 3 years after the music video was first posted, making this theory highly unlikely. After months and months of leaving these strange and aggressive comments, Doowut's original account was eventually taken down. This would not be the end of the tale, however. Shortly after the original account was taken down, other accounts began appearing, posting the exact same kind of angry comments. To say that this was strange would be an understatement. However, these new accounts would only post a couple dozen times or so before going dark, making it highly unlikely that these were the same person. In all likelihood, they were just simply copycats, out to muddy the waters even further than they already are. Unfortunately, after all this time has passed, it isn't very likely that we'll ever receive a true answer to the mystery of Doowut.
Take the remote unit from its handy storage space, and you're set for hours of pure pleasure. Enjoy your favorite programs, black and white or color. Turn the set on, select your channel,
Upon first look, the account that goes by user 9472 might just seem like yet another strange page on the internet. However, once you take a closer glance, it isn't long at all before you realize that there's something much more unnerving going on here. At first, some of these videos might come across as just another poor attempt to start an ARG, or alternate reality game, but the deeper you dive into the channel, the more bizarre the situation becomes. A few of the videos are no longer than 40 seconds, and filled to the brim with strange images and sounds. One of these videos, however, is especially unsettling. The video in question is played at an extremely high pitch, almost making it an all-out assault upon the viewer's senses. And yet, as bizarre as they are, these short videos are really only the tip of the iceberg. We've barely even dipped our toes into the deep well that is user 9472. The next video is where things start to get very strange. At this point, I think it's safe to say that this is obviously not just another ARG. This video gives me strong Uncanny Valley vibes. I mean, there's something just off about it. Something I can't quite put my finger on. Here is the video. And unfortunately, this video is just the beginning. As you scroll further down, things just get odder and odder, and even more outlandish. And some of these videos, despite their blatant strangeness, have achieved quite the view count, with one sitting at over 120,000 views. This video consists of a woman staring into the camera with a dead fish stuffed into her mouth. Truly Academy Award-worthy stuff here. It's hard to even put into words the sense of hopelessness that this channel leaves you with. But we're not finished with this story quite yet. Things are about to take an even darker turn. User 9472 recently deleted a video after an article was written in The Sun alleging some pretty disturbing things. This article was titled Death on Film, and it suggested that within user 9472's video there is shown an actual real human corpse. This is the video referenced in that article. Now, this video is fairly similar to the other uploads on the channel. However, in light of the Sun's accusations, the whole thing takes on a much more sinister tone. Just who is user 9472? Are these videos just yet another attempt to troll the online masses? Or is there something much more nefarious at work here? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Obviously, YouTube is a very vast and complicated platform, and these were only a small handful of the rabbit holes that exist upon it. And despite the title of this video, these three are very far from the darkest ones out there. So, if you happen to enjoy this video at all, then subscribe and join me as I attempt to document them all in an ongoing series. And I won't stop at just YouTube either. Throughout the entirety of the internet, scary and disturbing rabbit holes can be found almost everywhere. Now, I know I'm just one of the very, very many true crime and dark content channels out there. But I think that it's important to document and catalog all that we possibly can. So join me as we journey to the very darkest corners of the internet and attempt to shed light upon their mysteries. YouTube is one of the most vast platforms on the entire internet. As of the year 2024, over 51 million different YouTube channels exist, with 38 million of those being considered active. 37 million of these channels have at least 5 subscribers or more, while 29,000 of them have at least 1 million subs. The point of me rattling off all these numbers at you is to emphasize the sheer, unbelievable size of this platform. And within this vast universe, there exists a whole litany of deep, dark rabbit holes for us to explore. In the first entry to this series, we covered 3 different, disturbing stories. But to be honest, that barely even got our feet wet. There's still so much out there to discover, to experience. So get ready, buckle up, and let's dive back into the muck. YouTube is filled to the absolute brim with creators who one day dream of making it big, myself included. And if my current subscriber growth is any indication, then I should be hitting 100k subs sometime around the year of our Lord 2069 or so. YouTube also just happens to be one of the very most used platforms on the entire internet. Seriously, their user numbers read like Elon Musk's personal bank statements. And so, as you can probably imagine, within that limitless, vast sea of individuals, you're bound to come across a few bad apples on occasion. Once again, myself included. And Samantha Wohlford was one such rotten fruit. On the surface of it, Samantha came across as completely ordinary. Just another young woman who set out to utilize YouTube in order to help make her showbiz dreams come true. You see, more than anything else, Samantha longed for YouTube fame. However, her budding internet career wasn't her sole responsibility. Far from it, in fact. You see, Samantha was also the mother of 3 young children. From her residence in East Texas, she primarily created lifestyle vlogs, offering up personal glimpses of her everyday routine to her subscribers. However, considering the morbid events that were about to take place, it seems that Samantha may have found her life to be a little too routine. Almost constantly, the young woman would dream of getting out, of acquiring fame, of living a fast-paced, glamorous lifestyle. And unfortunately, at least in Samantha's mind, there was only one thing standing in the way of her accomplishing her dreams. Her partner and husband, Ernie. And Ernie didn't exactly fit into her idealized visions of her future. In reality, Samantha's life was a far cry from the glamorous, wholesome image that she portrayed on her channel. For his part, Ernie was a hard-working and loyal husband, as well as an especially devoted father. However, behind the scenes, the young couple's relationship had been crumbling around them for some time. Ernie, who was struggling to support the family of 5 on only his income, was growing increasingly frustrated with his wife's utter fixation upon internet fame. Unfortunately, it seemed that all too often her social media career was consistently pulling her away from her duties as both a mother and a partner, something that would inevitably lead to awful fights between the couple. As the unpleasantness between the young pair continued to escalate, Samantha began to look upon Ernie as less of a partner and more of a roadblock, of something standing in her way that needed to be overcome. In the month of February of the year 2015, Samantha began to formulate a nefarious plot, a plan to have her husband murdered. Samantha began to manipulate a group of her friends, 3 young men who trusted her, by convincing them that Ernie was an abusive and awful spouse. This was far from the truth, of course, but these 3 men didn't know that. Unfortunately, they took Samantha at her word. Through a series of carefully formulated text messages, Samantha began to paint herself as an innocent woman, a victim desperate to escape her husband's wrath. Tragically, the 3 men bought into her story, and together the group began to plan Ernie's abduction and eventual murder. On the evening of February 20th, 2015, Samantha's evil plan was put into action. At the couple's home, the 3 men ambushed Ernie and proceeded to beat him viciously. Following this attack, they then kidnapped their victim. Putting on quite the performance, Samantha phoned emergency services and informed them that 3 masked men had just broken in and abducted her husband. Despite playing the role of a shocked and grieving wife fairly well, it wasn't long before the authorities began to notice discrepancies in her story. As the investigation continued to unfold, it became clear to detectives that Samantha had played a much larger role in the crime than she'd first admitted. Unfortunately for the young woman, she'd left a very long and obvious trail of evidence behind, including text messages, emails, and of course the testimonies of her accomplices.
Samantha is the ringleader. Samantha is the one, and I can prove this.
All of this combined to reveal to investigators that Samantha had been the one behind the whole plot, pulling the strings all along. Ernie's body would be eventually found lying in a rural area, miles away from the home that he shared with Samantha. The young father had been brutally beaten, bound, and suffocated to death. Ernie's murder is truly the definition of a senseless killing. Done all so Samantha could have her freedom to pursue YouTube fame, something she likely never would have achieved anyway. I find it ironic that her desperate desire for fame eventually led to her everlasting infamy. In the year 2016, Samantha Wohlford was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Her legacy is one of manipulation and violence, and her story will forever remain as one of YouTube's darkest rabbit holes. YouTube is home to videos covering any possible subject that you can even imagine. Everything from wilderness survival tutorials to questionably edited videos about dark rabbit holes. However, if you dig just a little deeper below the surface, you're likely to stumble across some pretty disturbing content. And a great example of this is a channel known as Mey Mey. This channel boasts over 240 different videos in its library, all of which are focused on animals. Well, not all animals. In reality, just one in particular. Man's best friend, aka dogs. However, these videos are nothing like the other adorable fun videos of pets that you may have seen on this platform before. Both the videos in question and their thumbnails portray these animals in highly questionable situations that, to be honest, can be quite difficult to watch. It's honestly borderline shocking that this kind of content is even allowed on the platform at all. And meanwhile, I'm out here getting community guideline strikes left and right. What's really jaw-dropping, however, is just how many people are actually watching these awful videos. I mean, we're talking about a channel here with millions upon millions of views. And as of this writing, the channel boasts 16,000 subscribers, most of whom routinely interact with this foul content. Just like me, you're probably asking yourself, how in the world could this type of content ever become so popular? The thumbnails of these videos portray the animals in uncomfortable and even sexually suggestive positions. But smartly, it's always done in a carefully managed kind of way, where the channel owners can always fall back upon plausible deniability. However, the titles of these videos can actually be just as unnerving as their thumbnails. There's just something off about both their sentence structure and phrasing. Titles such as, quote, "Mother dog is find food," and quote, "Mom dog hungry food and want to eat," just don't sit especially well with me. And when you actually sit down, click on, and view one of these videos, it becomes painfully obvious just how shameless and unethical they really are. We're talking textbook exploitation here, people. Throughout these videos, whoever is behind the camera all too often zooms in and focuses upon the animal's genitals, occasionally even going so far as to touch them. It's enough to make you gag. The videographer also really enjoys recording the animals whenever they happen to be cleaning themselves. I think you get the picture. I do need to point out, though, that ever since their channel has come to the attention of the broader YouTube community, it seems that whoever is running the channel has widely removed some of their more obviously exploitative videos. Now, you might be wondering who exactly this kind of content is even made for. Well, all it takes is a quick glance at the comments section to see that Mey Mey has managed to build up a sizable audience of seemingly like-minded individuals. Over their time on the platform, they've managed to build up a modest but highly dedicated community around the type of content that most people would find to be extremely strange at best. And these people aren't just watching the videos either. They're fully engaged, often sharing and even commenting on these videos. Comments such as, quote, "Amazingly beautiful, she knows how to fuck all day long," gives you a pretty clear window into the psyche of some of these people. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, I'm afraid. After scrolling through the comments section, I was able to find a great number of sexually explicit comments. And remember now, these were all left on videos of animals. Despite how much we might wish otherwise, it's painfully obvious that there is indeed an audience out there actively searching for this kind of content. The channel even has entire playlists catered around these same sick themes. Now, as I mentioned before, when this channel first came to the attention of the wider YouTube community, the channel went dark, privatizing almost their whole catalog of videos overnight. And due to a few comments left on the remaining videos by the creator of the channel himself, it's fairly easy to discern why. It seems that after Mey Mey came to attention, YouTube finally decided to take action and restrict them, stripping away the channel's ability to earn money. However, Mey Mey is just one of these sick channels. Many others still exist out there. In fact, there's even a chance that the owner of the channel runs another channel almost exactly like it, except this time with cats. I'm not going to get into cat pew here, but from the evidence I've seen, I think it's fairly safe to say that this channel is run by the very same person. The point is, there's likely hundreds of these kind of channels out there, all profiting off the exploitation of animals. It's truly sickening stuff. So if you have a little furry baby of your own, hold them close tonight. Tell them you love them, because it's obvious that there's a ton of people out there who would wish them harm.
All all of a sudden?
Been sharing this with us.
Guess there's nothing left to do.
Everybody stick around because we're going to have some fun.
In the year 2015, an extremely strange YouTube channel called 00390 was first created. Nothing at all was normal about this channel, not even its description. Written in both English and Italian, the text reads, quote, "Do not subscribe, you bother me. Do not offer me money for affiliation or other. I am not interested. At best, offer me some typical food of your country." And below this block of text, there lies an Italian phrase which roughly translates to, quote, "I like cold girls, but alive." As of the time of this writing, this strange channel boasts over 50,000 subscribers. Not too shabby, is it? The channel's owner has managed to accumulate all of these subs by consistently uploading some very strange and quite disturbing content. Everything from experimental art videos to recordings of women who are seemingly being held hostage or featured on the channel. Due to the unsettling nature of these uploads, over the years since the channel's creation, people all across the wider internet community have come together in an attempt to solve the mystery of this channel. This has resulted in some pretty outlandish theories being put forward. Despite how unlikely it really is, one of the most popular theories out there proposes the notion that the channel's owner is actually a serial kidnapper and murderer who travels the streets searching for potential victims. This would help explain all of the seemingly random videos featured on the channel that consist of someone filming women who appear to be completely unaware that they're being recorded at all. Truly creepy stuff. However, to this very day, there unfortunately is no actual consensus on the deeper meaning behind the channel, or if there even is one at all. Perhaps this is just another art project or poor ARG attempt, who knows? Or perhaps something much more sinister is going on here. We may never know the truth. Either way though, channel 00390 makes for a very dark and disturbing YouTube rabbit hole.